Viewers, this is Gambia 24 with me, Sahna Tunkara. Let's look at our news bulletin. Muslim scholar in the Gambia demands for the reopening of mosques. British boxer Amir slams a penny appeal after child sexual allegations. Senior secondary school students across the sub-region commence their external examination today. These and more coming up on Gambia 24. Stay tuned. Welcome back and thanks for joining us. Muslims in the Gambia are calling for the reopening of mosques so that they could offer prayers for the coronavirus pandemic to end. The Gambia government ordered for the closure of all public places, including mosques, as part of efforts to halt the spread of the virus. More of that in this report by Omar Ahmad Toure.
Islam is the major religion in the Gambia, with 95% of the more than 2 million population being Muslims. Muslims have renewed their calls for the government to reconsider reopening their places of worship, despite the fact that community infections continue to rise. Ismaila Bey, the Imam Ratib of Sukuta, said Muslims should talk to the government to allow them perform prayers in the mosque. He said he is surprised that no one is talking about the reopening of the mosque, and that people should fear God and pray for this pandemic to go away.
Our mosque should be given at least 30 minutes. This was what you did in the Tobaski and Ramadan. No one prayed, and that is why things are so hard on us. You stop people from prayers, and prayer is what helps Muslims, and it prevents them from calamity.
Bey has been an imam for 46 years. He said holding an imam position is based on truth, and that the truth should be prioritized over everything. He said the closure of mosque was political and of greed.
Faith and belief have reduced drastically. You are saying whatever you like because of money. You are saying whatever pleases you so that the government can put something into your pocket.
The Gambia reopened places of worship recently, but had then closed again after community infections from the coronavirus begin to rise. Some Muslim countries have reopened mosques for people to perform congregational prayers. Saudi Arabia reopened over 90,000 mosques after 2 months of closure, and congregational prayers are held with social distancing of 2 meters between worshippers. For iAfrica TV, Omar Ahmad Toure.
From the demand by Islamic scholars to reopen places of worship, British boxer Amir Khan has criticized Penny appeal after allegation of child sexual abuse emerged in one orphanage supported by the charity. The Penny Appeal orphanage in Yarambamba, Gambia's West Coast region, was shut down by the Gambia government on August 12 after an initial investigation found cases of child sexual abuse and exploitation at the Anasurun orphanage in Kotu. Anasurun is a local orphanage provided with funding and 285 children to take care of by Penny Appeal Gambia. The reports of child abuse and exploitation are said to have occurred in July this year. Following iAfrica's report on Thursday, former world boxing champion Amir Khan, who had previously collaborated with Penny Appeal, issued a statement on social media criticizing the charity. I am horrified to hear about the allegations against Penny Appeal. I thought these guys had cleaned up their act. I have previously partnered with Penny Appeal many years ago, and we did some good work out there. But I served ties back in 2018. I had my own questions over their internal processes that never got answered. I ended up concluding the operation is deficient. When there's allegations of child abuse and nasty stuff like that, there's only one solution: shut it down immediately. Investigate allegations, and if proven to be true, bring the culprits to justice. 2019 Penny Appeal, a Wakefield-based charity, submitted a serious incident report to the Charity Commission, which regulates charity across England and Wales in relation to financial concerns. Last week, the UK-based charity, which established Penny Appeal Gambia, did not respond to iAfrica TV email inquiries on the child abuse allegations. Instead, it issued the following statement. As an organization, protecting children and young people from harm is of the highest possible level of importance. We recognize and accept our responsibility to ensure our partners provide an environment which promotes the safety of our beneficiaries, especially young people, at all times. We are committed to demonstrating the highest standards of behavior and humanitarian practice, and thus have commissioned an immediate independent investigation into all related matters and are engaging the relevant authorities. Meanwhile, British boxer Khan said it is shocking that Penny Appeal pulled heartstrings to raise millions of pounds from the goodwill of the British people. But sadly, it seems they have little regard to protect those that donate that money or indeed the beneficiaries they seek to serve. Khan also said that while he visited the inauguration of a Penny Appeal orphanage in the Gambia, his Amir Khan Foundation had no management involvement whatsoever. Khan said he is so disgusted that he has committed resources to undertake his own independent investigations to ensure the welfare needs of the children are being met. Now, the Gambia has so far recorded 401 recoveries since the outbreak of COVID-19 in the country. Health experts have suggested that the number of COVID-19 cases could be minimized if people adhering to the precautionary measures. This is a files in this report.
The Gambia has recorded 54 new recoveries from COVID-19 on Sunday, bringing the total of recoveries to 401 since the outbreak of the virus in the country in March this year. The 120 National Situation Report released by the Ministry of Health indicated that 462 new laboratory test results were received from the Medical Research Council of the Gambia and National Public Health Laboratory. And of this, 183 new tests have been confirmed positive for COVID-19 and 18 new tests returned inconclusive. The median age of the new cases is 37 years and the age bracket ranges from 1 to 86 years. The country registered 9 new COVID-19 deaths on Sunday, bringing the total number of deaths recorded to 63. As indicated in the report, the median age of the new deaths is 65 years and the age bracket ranges from 42 to 86 years, and of this, 6 are males and 3 are females. A total of 1,872 people have been infected with the virus across the country. 332 people are currently in quarantine, and while 17 new discharges were made, there are 1,408 active cases, 183 probable cases, and a crude case fatality ratio of 3.4%. In his 6th COVID-19 address to the nation on Friday, President Adama Barrow, despite his government's intervention in the fight against the pandemic, it brought serious consequences, derailing his government's development agenda, challenging the health system, and undermine economic growth. For iAfrica News, Ndeye Cisse.
From that story by Ndeye Cisse on COVID-19 update. Moving on, ahead of his latest national address, the Gambian leader was petitioned by civil society organizations to address the nation amid the recent surge of COVID-19 cases in the country. But President Barrow said he will only talk to the Gambians as when the need arises. More in this report by Aissatou Tamba.
President Adama Barrow said while he appreciates people's desire for him to speak regularly following a surge in the number of coronavirus cases in the Gambia, he will only do so as when the need arises. He was speaking during his 5th address to the nation on Friday, following mounting pressure from civil society groups and frontline health workers. Although the Gambian government has introduced a series of measures geared towards curbing the pandemic, the number keeps increasing. Currently, the Gambia has recorded 1,872 cases, 401 recoveries, and 63 deaths since March 2020.
I appreciate that many of you would like me to address the nation often, and I want to assure you I will do so whenever the need arises. I must emphasize, however, that the most important thing is taking collective action to enforce the messages in my addresses on the pandemic and the advice by the health experts. Whenever I address the nation, I do so in the national interest. And every law-abiding citizen and residents of the country should abide by our pronouncements.
Part of the demand of the civil society organization, together with frontline health workers, for Barrow-led administration to communicate the next step the government will be taking in dealing with the pandemic. They want the government to provide full medical packages to frontline workers, daily announcement of health workers, among others. However, Barrow did not address these demands. Instead, he said people need to unite in the fight against the virus, and that it is not his wish to see any citizen of the country to suffer in any form.
To see any citizen and residents of the Gambia suffer in any form. If we work together, respect our diversity, utilize our expertise, we can do a lot more to change our situation. Fellow citizens, each of us can be an advocate for healthy living if we follow the precautionary measures advised by experts. We can all be law enforcement agents if we value and respect the rule of law. We can have the type of country we want to live in if we all act responsibly and hold ourselves duly accountable to the nation.
President Barrow reminded the populace of the precautionary measures and went further to urge Gambians to be policemen and women in the fight against the virus. Reporting for iAfrica News, I am Aissatou Tamba.
As the senior secondary school students commence their final year WAS examination amid increase in the number of cases in the sub-region, our reporter Ibrahima John visited Nusrat and Kanifing East Upper and Secondary School to sound the views of both the educationists and students on the impact the global crisis has on their examination approaches.
Senior secondary schools in the Gambia and West Africa began their final external examinations on Monday, after 2 months of delay due to a surge in the number of coronavirus cases in the sub-region. Since its emergence from the Chinese city of Wuhan in December 2019, the virus has spilled over to 216 countries, areas, or territories around the world, and has affected almost every aspect of life, including economic activities, social functions, and religious gatherings. The educational sector in the Gambia is not exempted from the menace, as grade 9 and grade 12 students experience delay in sitting to their final examinations. Students in high schools began this year's WAS by sitting to a maths paper on Monday. The principal of Nusrat Senior Secondary School, Mamadi Sise, is of the belief that examinations could have been conducted earlier when the pandemic was less serious in the country. Mr. Sise said that the outbreak of the virus has the potential of affecting students who fail to take the opportunity to study at home, but said responsible students had ample time to read their books and prepare well for the external examination. The Nusrat boss said he plans to introduce online classes and he expects good performance from his students.
Some of them have been reading, so we are not anticipating anything less than the usual performance. So although it could be better if at all students continuously, continue with their teachers reading, because, schools have to monitor the students' progress and their study habits and so on and so forth. So, and then before COVID-19, students used to be here the whole night, sleep here and so, but when COVID-19, lockdown happened, so we cannot allow them to stay in the school the whole night, the whole day, and that could lead to something else.
The vice principal of Kanifing East, Majabu Gay, said that despite the impact of the virus, ambitious students had ample time to prepare themselves for the West African Senior Secondary School examination WAS. Mr. Gay said the only difference between this and the previous WAS is that students will be required to write a paper almost on a daily basis.
For me, I must have to produce, the trend will continue. I'll produce 9 credit. In fact, I produced 9 credit before coming to grade 12. When I say me, I mean my dispatch. Because even before the COVID-19, I encourage most of my grade 11s. And then they went for this private WAS. That was well before the COVID-19. And some of them came out with 9 credits. So those people, if they continue the trend and then read, this thing should not be a threat. I'm expecting them with 9 A's, but not 9 credits.
The head boy of Kanifing East Upper and Senior Secondary School, Alpha Mane, encouraged fellow students to make best use of the opportunity and study hard for the exams. The West African Examination Council, which was established in 1952, coordinates the examination within the sub-region, and this is the first time it is conducting the grade 12 exam in August. Currently, there are 147,935 cases, 2,217 deaths, and 118,559 recoveries in West Africa. Reporting for iAfrica News, I am Ibrahim John.
Well, viewers, this brings us to the end of Gambia 24 with me, Sohna Tunkara. Please do join Ibrahim again for the news in Wolof in an hour. Goodbye.
Gambia dañ bàyyi suñu xel bu baax a baax ndax corona bi mu ngi fii ba léegi ku yëg sa yaram symptômes yi la wax na nga toog fi nga nekk ku wala 025 nga aar sa
nga xam ne am nga ca wax jéem a xam feebar ni muy duggee ci biir.
Imagine if you were told that you had to do certain things to protect members of your family.
ay téeméeri nit ñooy dee ci benn bés bon nag du caaxaan.
takkal sa masque te seet sa askan si bii balaa looloy sa tax te moo ñu war ñu mucc si balaa mbir yi gën a tas te bu ñëwee di yomb mu balaa nañ jóg si mbas mi ndax bu ëppee loxo di xelaat ball nañ xeex si benn kàll puusandoor rek mu jàll ñëpp amoon yaakaar ne day dem far mu dëppaat tànk kees yi di gën a ñàng taxul ñu wàññi lang léegi la lépp gën a rëb te kenn faaletul lenn ñii di ko def ay caaxaan di ko use di oote ndaje woo ngeen ko nag si mbaaxam si ndaje la gën a aaye nañ jéem a farlu te taxaw si lépp luñ ñu aaye togal sa kër te moytu mbooloo ndax te cil du passé takkal sa max bi waaye mun na aar sa community corona bi di fax waaye te mu ngi lor nit yi kon nañ jël suñ matuwaay te buñ di xaar si njiit yi gës yaa ngi yokku waaye te garab amul fii nii
ci xel ak xol ndax ñu mun a xeex corona kaay leen ñu booloo
takkal sa masque te faagaru sa teen loloy sa taas ka rin hawak ka bicycle bul sa singin bono te wàññi jox la loxo jëlal sa matuwaay déggal bopp amul solo takal sa masque te fagaru sa kel loloy sa taas ka rin hawak ka bicycle bul sa singin bono te wàññi jox la loxo jëlal sa matuwaay déggal bopp amul solo
ci xel ak xol ndax ñu mun a xeex corona
taklido fo falti kuwalla alngol fanal bula ni ngoke dron
fo balba daminna ani mo jamal badaminna ya mol ya marnyami ngam bulo kunnu ngam bulo
and take expert advice and act accordingly
famani banduma wota yawdo tan jaha to l'hôpital wodi number mo noddata ko 1025
My people, we can fight corona, my people, yeah. I can, you can, we can fight it off together. We can fight corona together, yeah. Mane wanyil madam chimbolo mi, mane ra, oh yeah. Mane machul madam chimbolo mi, mane ra hasal masalo, oh yeah. Don't panic, don't panic, don't panic, don't panic, don't panic. We can do this together. Koro, we me koro, we me koro. Ya Allah fabo el koro, we me koro, we me koro. Ya Allah fabo el.
Forget about the bills, think about the lives we're losing. Stay at home, cover your nose when sneezing. Protect yourself, help prevent from spreading. No, don't touch your nose, don't touch your eyes when it's itching.
Buñu tiit, buñu ragal, suñ mbooloo yi ànd ak suñu matuwaay dinañ ko dara ci kàttanu suñu borom gi.
Money Empire.
This message is brought to you from the Office of the Mayor, KMC.
It's Gam Music and Entertainment.
I say Corona, pack up your bag and go. One laugh Kairola, just in case you don't know Corona. I say Corona, stop hurting my motherland, making us run around. One laugh Kairola, Corona.
Hey, it started out in China. You forgot the facha hand que say na.